Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? It is Friday. And let's hope that yesterday was the bottom. Sure does dang look like it. Before we get started too much, though, let's go ahead and jump into the risk disclaimer. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Don't do this if you can't afford to lose money, all right? I'm being serious right now. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here, intended to be informational, educational, and fun, is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument or otherwise. And if you desire that personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor that has your best interest in mind and can give you a personal plan for what to do. All right? Moving on. First thing, second, third, fourth, fifth. Check this out. We came right down here. Made a lower low on this chart. This is the S5FI, stocks above the 50-day moving average for the S&P 500. Right there. You know what this did? It came down right in the zone. Not the auto zone, but right in the zone, auto zone. Anyway, we can see it better on this chart anyway. Turn off the, logs turned off. So we look at this chart right here. Chugged right into that zone right there, poked down, made a low, and popped right back up. It's exactly what I was expecting. Go to a weekly chart. Remember, from back here in 2020, we made these, we just chugged in this zone as we made higher highs. Just chug in this zone, same zone. Right here is what I'm talking about. This zone right in there. There we go. As we made higher highs, we'll do that right over here. It's not going to be the exact same. It's never the exact same. Like, that's not what the market does. We echo. We don't copy. So, but this pattern right here, this big drop, hang out down here, very similar to what we saw here. Although we had a kind of a double bottom situation. And we had a double top situation. This one we just had one bottom, one top, and then chugged out. This one we had a bottom, a top, a bottom that lasted a little longer, then a top, and then we chug out. Hopefully to a higher high. We'll see. Time will tell in the market, but let's go ahead and pop over and look at something right here. Look at this baby. I show this like practically every morning. And if you're not familiar, make sure that you subscribe, hit the little bell with the doodads on it so that you get notified when I go live. Because I go live and talk about this stuff every single day. Look at this. I was saying watch for a bounce, watch for a breakdown of the support. We've held the support so far. This is looking ripe to be the bottom. A breakout back above these candles right over here and the roadmap line. That little gray dash is the roadmap line on this chart, which would be right at the 40.32 area. We get a nice break above that, nice daily close, and some continuation. We're probably going to go up and test 4,300. 4,300 comes from the high that we made right back here in August. That August high, 4,300. So we need to hold that. And it can take us on out to a new all-time high. All right. Now, remember, this is what I gave you in January. I gave you the path. We broke the resistance. We have come back and tested resistance. And now we can go higher. So, all right. One thing, housekeeping. I got a question about super chats. So on your chat thingy, you may have a white screen. This is, a dark screen. I'm in dark mode on my computer. You should have this. If you're logged into a Google account or YouTube account, this little dollar symbol right here gets you the super chat. If you wanted to super chat me, I will stop and take time to look at whatever you want me to look at. So just letting you know that option is now available. Just making sure everybody's aware. Silence that phone. Good grief. Alerts going off like crazy. Market's moving. All right. And then I want to talk about this. INSW was on the list. Big mover earlier. Freight waves, interesting articles. They get news aggregated right here on my Zero Hedge page. This talks about what the situation is going on with FRO and INSW, why they're making so much money per day and getting profitable, and their charts are moving up in the face of all this weird stuff in the oil industry. So, interesting little read there. You can go pop on to Zero Hedge and get it. I posted it in Discord. If you're in Discord, you can go grab that. So, all right, moving on. Next thing next. So grab the zoom in right here. Make it the right size. Look, holding support. All the different support lines, they're not exactly the same perfectly on every chart, but we basically held the support. We held that 618 level, and we're moving higher. The ES chart, trying to poke back above the roadmap line. This is all super, super positive for going higher out of here. Of course, like I said, we got to get through that 40-30 area, pushing on up. Got to break back out of this consolidation zone. 4,300 will be a resistance point. It will be. Like, there's no getting around it. We've got to go test that, and then we may get another pullback before we can break through it. So be careful on the upside. Don't get too overly bullish for that new high until we get above 4,300. And we got to stay above there, not just kind of poke up. In Q, right down to that consolidation zone and bounce. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Russell about to break back above that consolidation. Like, I've got my alert right there at 1923-ish on the Russell future. If we break above that, we're probably getting the extension higher. All right. All beautiful looking charts. Dollar pushing back down. Love to see it break below this support. You know, it was resistance on the way up. Now turn support. If we can break back below that, break back below this one, dollar can drift off and probably make extensions down into the 90s. So that's all looking nice. Tesla was a big mover yesterday, big move down, getting a little green today. It's probably going to hold that support zone right there and go for the trend line. It's got a little work to do, of course. Like I said, TradingView moves my trend lines around, so that's supposed to be the trend line down off those highs, and we'll probably go up and test it somewhere over in here. Then we'll probably get a retrace, just like we did on the S&P 500, and then we'll come down, test the roadmap line again, and then try to break out. If we can break out here, Tesla's going higher. If we can't, and we bounce down again, we're probably going to go down and test the lows. So that's the stuff to watch out for right there on Tesla. TSLL, I did pick up a long on this late yesterday based on a measured bounce setup. Looking for this to come back up in the $12, $13 area in the short term, and looking fairly okay right now. Probably going to at least fill the gap at 12, and I'm hoping to see, hope, don't ever trade on hope, but for lack of a better word, I'm kind of expecting to see a test back in this $13 area where we did this topping formation right there on TSLL. All right, we may just go full bull and just break out and go. I don't know. We'll see. All right. TSLS, obviously getting the smackdown. And if you're into, short and stuff, that one seems to be outperforming a little bit over the TSLL with the higher prices. Even though it's not leveraged, it seems to be outperforming. Silvergate continues to get the smackdown. Lots of FUD, lots of news on that one. And I don't know. Coinbase kind of shutting down their payments and the transfers. Really, it's kind of like who called in the favor to get that done, right? Battle the hedge funds, battle the big players, big money. This was never a great play. This was always a speculative, dangerous play. I thought I'd bring it to your attention, but it's turning out that somebody called in a favor to get that shut down, and they may be liquidating and making their money. I don't know. We'll see what happens on SI. It's just something fun to watch, and I have a little money on it to see if it'll pop. but if it doesn't, it's okay. Cost, reporting earnings, and beating on top, missing on the bottom, getting slammed down, probably because they had a marginal outlook, but really they just went back to where they were a couple days ago. On the big picture, this thing breaking down, and it had what I call the watermelon seed squeeze play, and it can go all the way down here. So be careful, all right? This one does not have to be bullish. This thing has been consolidating in this wedge pattern, and we've gotten right down to the end of the wedge. We break down below about 450 on the price, where it did this little bottom thing before, where it tried to break out, and we can see this thing push down in this 300 area, low 300s. Be careful, all right? I cannot stress that enough. It looks best on the log scale, where these are balanced up and down, and I love how TradingView moves my stuff around here. So yeah, still low 300s, 330, and if it for some reason got crazy bullish and broke out to the upside, 750 is the upside. But right now, I'm biased to the downside on Costco. All right, Dell getting hit. We're in a computer cycle. We kind of went through this. There's these corporate computer buying cycles. Right now we're in like a lull. So not a lot of new computers getting bought, and Dell suffers during that. HP suffers. There's just a whole multitude of them that they ebb and flow in these cycles. All right, ChargePoint getting smacked down a little bit on their earnings, losing money, missing on the bottom, beating on the top. Lost less money than they expected to lose, and then the outlook, of course. It's a challenging environment if you don't make money. Interest rates keep climbing, and they just don't make money, so down they go. And that's a downtrend and lower low. Would be what I expected. AI, the hot topic, getting a nice pop. Didn't quite make it to the roadmap line. I thought we would, but we are not gonna. Doesn't look like we're gonna do that. At least right now, we have resistance. Let's see, let's update the fibs here. Grab that one, pull it over. Yeah, same area. So we've got resistance, and it's kind of at that resistance that we could actually bounce down. Like this popping up here, sets it up to get an extension lower, and that's what this little line right here is. If we topped out right in that zone once more, and I mean, right now, we still have that high here that's higher than the current pre-market high. Could still see that roadmap test. That's still entirely possible here on AI. C3 AI. Let's look at ramping up on earnings. Remember, losing money, but lost less money than expected. Not great, and I mean, it's hyped up, but still losing money. Until they can start making money, this is dangerous stuff right here. We're in an environment where it costs a lot of money to borrow money. So Marvel, however you want to say it, Marvel. I know it's not the comics, it's the chip maker. Yeah, coming in line, beating on the bottom and down. Outlook probably looked poor. They're not in making chips that are for AI. I mean, that's the bottom line there. ZS also seeing a nice, huge hit. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, getting slammed, probably for a poor outlook. Yet again, I mean, but the thing about it, I keep saying it. The thing about technical analysis is that we use it and we predict trends before they actually show up. So right here, purpose of technical analysis is to identify trend changes that precede fundamental trend and do not yet make sense if compared to the concurrent fundamental trend. So we're looking at fundamental news, all the news that comes out is fundamental type stuff, and the chart patterns are the technical analysis. So we're using those to predict turns before it makes sense in the market. And that's what we saw in the S&P 500. That's what we're seeing in lots of these things. So just remember, the chart patterns are the chart patterns, the news is the news. We saw ZS hit resistance here and turn down, and that means a pullback. Now, where could we find support? Right here on the daily, right down where we are. That's the target. If we bounce in this area, that's a measured bounce setup. That can take us up. So watch for that to happen during the market. All right. Now, grab the right fib tool right there. If we bounce at the 618, let's just assume that we can pull down all the way to the 618 there. Could set us up for a move to 165, even if it's bearish. And if it gets bullish, 206. So this one's becoming an opportunity. All right, looks like the market just opened. Let's see if that pushes back up. It has a gap to fill now. And it can bounce right here. Most aggressively, I would consider an entry here. In fact, I'll set an alert there to let me know. And then, of course, above the roadmap line is a much better spot. Right up in this area, right up in here. Much better spot for confirmation for going higher. 165 at the bearish and 200 if it's going to be bullish. Another one, AVGO, getting a little pop, might retrace that back down. That was the highs. May have trouble getting through it. You know, it's been resistance for a while now. Yeah, that one can break out right here. I'll close above that 618. Yeah, 786 now. Yeah, close above this. Can get it to break out. The upside targets be like 748, 838. REVE is a chaotic chart. Holy moly. Thing was dead for a while and then all of a sudden going crazy. That must be a SPAC of some sort. Not even interested. BFRG, Bullfrog, another AI thing. That looks like a horrible chart going down. No history, so I can't even do anything. IoT, a nice pop. I assume that's some sort of Internet of Things thing. Breaking out. Like, that's higher than, yeah, we got resistance up here. Can run right up into that 25 area. LPSN, that looks like it's going lower. Ugh, that looks like it needs a lower low. BITI, just chopping. That's a short Bitcoin strategy. Yeah, popping today because Bitcoin got smacked about 8 o'clock last night Eastern time. But I would not be betting on this one to go higher. That one looks like it's going to go in the toilet as Bitcoin goes higher in the halving event. ASAN, little pop, but still bearish. Boil. Can we get the breakout here out of this downtrend? I don't know. That looks pretty horrible. You should look at the NG chart over. I mean, that's a nice move, but it's going to get a retrace. So be careful on natural gas. That was one heck of a move down. We came into the lows that we've had, multi-year lows here. But we got to get some sort of pullback and an extension to get any kind of uptrend actually going. So Frey just looks like it's going sideways in this consolidation zone, even though it may be a big percent mover for the day. That's just chop in a range. Meta getting a little pop. Got to break above the resistance right there to go higher, and then it's got more resistance up here around 320. But that is like almost a double from where we are right here. So I do kind of expect that one to make this. It's got this one move down, retrace, third move down to hit this roadmap line eventually here. All right, FSLR, nice pop. Didn't do the retrace and getting another extension. The extension looks like, yeah, watch for it to run out of gas here. Somewhere in this zone, it's likely to run out of gas and do another retrace. ENPH, keep on trucking. I expect that one to break on down. That just looks pretty bad right now. It can find a bottom here, but it's more likely to go down until it breaks above the roadmap line, 240-ish. It's where I figured that might come together. So we'll see. And then Apple, last one on the list for the morning, getting a nice bounce right off the roadmap line. This is beautiful. We break out above 150. We can very easily get a new high on Apple. Seems like a lot of work to get through. It does have some resistance, but getting above there sets this thing up for a bullish path. It's going to get a lot of attention when we break above that high right there. All right. That's kind of what I'm watching today. A little bit bullish bias on the day. Remember, if we make a lower low today, that is not bullish for the market next week. We don't typically make a lower low, the lowest low, on a swing move on a Friday. You'll hear me say that over and over if you keep following me. And remember, I'm going live on Monday again at 9:15 in the morning. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell with the little doodads, and I'll be back with you on Monday. So have a great day, everybody. If you're in Discord and you want me to look at a chart, hit me up in Discord. I'll look at your chart. So I'll see you later. That's what's moving for the day. I got other things I got to do today. So have a great one, and